Hi. Hi. I'm going to take this out. I hope that the sound guy isn't mad at me. Back in those days, in those far remote days, back in those nights, in those faraway nights, back in those years, in those long ago years, back at that time when the wise ones were wise, the wisest of all of us have given up hope. Those words were written 5,000 years ago by a man named Ziusudra of Sumer. He was the last king of the first human civilization. For 500 years, the Sumerians had basically invented culture. They invented words, they invented philosophy, and then one day a flood came and it wiped everything away. What would you do if you survived the end of the world? Well, Ziusudra sat down in the mud and he looked at all of the destruction, and he wrote something. He wrote this. It's not a poem, it's not a story, it's a list of things that are still true. It's a weird list. It's got weird shit in it, and it's amazing, and I recommend you read it. But the reason that I'm going to share this, don't ever buy a donkey. It's advice on when not to buy a donkey, in case you need that. But the reason I share it with you tonight is because it reminds me of what I want to talk to you about, and it's why I love words. Because even when everything else is gone, when nature comes and wipes everything away, we still have words. I love words. I think they are our greatest invention. And I want you to love them too. So in the spirit of Ziusudra of Sumer, here is a list of the things that I love about words. I love words because words are basically Higgs bosons. Words grapple on to our concepts and they drag them into reality so that we can make shit out of them. Everything we've ever made has been built out of words. Our philosophy, our religion, our laws, our names are words. I love the etymology of words. I love the history of words. And when you trace a word back to its origins, you not only discover where that word came from, but you learn something about who we were when it was invented. So for instance, the word sinister, it's a really good word. Well, the word sinister has its roots in Latin, the word sinestra, which means left. Because thousands of years ago, before science, if birds flocked to the left, priests lost their shit and killed lots of goats. And left was bad. So left-handed people became bad. I love foreign words, because foreign words are basically an opportunity to have a thought that we haven't thought of yet. It's an opportunity to step into the imagination of a person who comes from another place. So for instance, there's a Russian word, razbulito. I think I'm doing that right. It certainly sounds Russian. Razbulito means to long for a love that you no longer feel. I love that word because it reminds me that love is not something we post about on fucking Facebook. Love is a force that has a weight that stays with us even after it's departed. Love was once a goddess. Love was a goddess. And by the way, this statue is called Aphrodite Callipygian. Callipygian itself is an invented word, which means finely sculpted buttocks, which is a philosophy to which I've adhered for 35 years. I love it when you take words and you corral other words with them. We call them collective nouns, and we know a bunch of them. We know a murder of crows, a bunch of grapes, an unkindness of ravens, but there are other collective nouns that are fucking amazing. Like a column of accountants, a persistence of parents, an ingratitude of children, as I think they should be called, a puke of children, a convocation of eagles, a parliament of owls. Can you hear it? It's fucking great. We could be dropping these into conversation whenever we want. I love that words want to be played with. They're plastic. You can snap them together and make not just new words, but new ideas. Writers have been doing this forever. Shakespeare did it. Milton did it. Orwell did it. Old British white guys did it. I do it. I have a website where I post words that I've invented. I invented the first one by accident and then 300 more of them on fucking purpose. It's like my favorite thing in the world to do. It's become kind of a preoccupation. So, like, for instance, this asshole. How do you describe somebody who speaks of everything with absolute authority, even though he's an authority on absolutely nothing? Well, you take the word generalism and generalissimo, and you smash them together and create generalissimo, and then you put it on the internet, and a bunch of angry old white dudes send you hate mail. I've been getting it for weeks. It's the greatest thing in the world. That's my cat. His name is Oppenheimer, and I fucking love him. Just read this, go to the website. I'm not going to do this slide, but look at that goddamn face. As I have had this website, artists and illustrators have come and they've started illustrating my words. And I love this so much because it just proves the point that I'm trying to make to you, which is that words are basically like the units of inspiration. Even the silly thing that I'm making is inspiring other people to make shit. Kipling says that words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind. I completely agree. And if you guys walk away from what I'm talking about with any thought, it's that I want you guys to like get fucked up on words with me, and I want you to get in touch with me. And if you're an artist or an illustrator, or if you're a writer or a thinker, or if you're a publisher and you would like to publish my words, get in touch. But just love, respect, and cherish words. They're our first and our last invention. Thank you.
Can you please pass the cocktail sauce? You might as well know hell is hot as hell, boss. Tell my horse. He said broads call me horny. I make sure I throws them back if they's too scrawny or bony.